Welcome to the More Than Fitness podcast.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 2021. And also welcome to Minisode number 101. We've made it into the hundreds. If you missed the Minisode number 100, highly recommend you check that out and understand that 2021 is the year of intentional action, at least for me and a few other people who reached out to me and said that they liked that idea. So 2021, the year of intentional action. But this Minisode 101, is going to be a crazy simple fat loss plan for 2021. I got the idea for this Minisode from my mother, actually. As I've said a few times, I'm currently staying at my parents' house for the holidays. And before I go back to New York City, my mom has requested some type of nutrition plan for her to follow for the next few weeks, et cetera, et cetera. And so I had to think of something as simple as possible. And I've used methods like this for one-to-one coaching clients that I've worked with, and they've seen great results because it does, it's very, very simple for people to follow. You always know what you need to do every single day. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. And so what I'm going to do is I will, after I explain this, I'll throw up for the video podcast, I'll throw up a picture of what this actually looks like. But for the most part, I'll try and explain it. So even if you're listening to this, you have a good grasp of what I'm talking about as well. But for many of my clients, whenever I want them to have a simple fat loss plan, I have them follow a point system, a consistency point system based around daily habits that lead to the goal that they're looking for. So in this case, let's say in 2021, you want to lose some body fat. And so the idea would be to pick 3, 4, 5 daily habits that you practice every single day that will lead to fat loss, right? And so what I would say is a couple examples of actually, I'll get to the examples in a second, but what I would do with this point system is in the very first column, I would have the 3 to 5 daily process goals listed out. So some of these examples would be have 20 to 30 grams of protein with each meal or snack. That would be the first row with that column, right? So have protein with each meal. That's going to be one. The next one underneath that would be have 1 serving of fruit and or vegetables with each meal or snack. All right. So that would be the second row in the first column. The third row would be, for example, go for a 20 to 60 minute walk and make it distraction free. Right. So go for a 20 to 60 minute distraction free walk. The next one, another example would be drink 1 glass of water before every meal and after every meal. And then the last row, so the fifth thing that you would do every single day would be take a picture of every meal you eat. Take a picture of every meal you eat. So this is just a nice alternate route. If you don't want to track everything you eat, say you've never tracked food before and you don't feel like tracking food, I think that you still need to gain awareness somehow, because that's the point of tracking food, right? Is to gain self-awareness around your eating patterns and what you're doing or not doing on a regular basis. So a very easy way to do that is before you eat every meal, before you put any piece of food or liquid in your mouth that contains calories, take a picture of it. That way, at the end of the day, you can go back and you can have your own little food journal in the form of pictures. So that's why I'd recommend taking a picture of every meal you eat. And so those 5 things would be in one column. And then as far as the point system goes, you would have each day of the week in columns next to those goals. So you would have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So for the example of this, on Sunday, if you had protein with every single meal you ate that day, you would earn 1 point, right? And then on the same day, if you also had a serving of fruit and or vegetables with every single meal, you'd also get another point. And then the last one I'll say, let's just say go for a 20 to 60 minute distraction-free walk. Let's say you didn't do that on Sunday. So then you'd get a 0 there, right? So every time you do the daily process goal, every time you accomplish that, you get 1 point. If you don't, you get 0 points. And basically that's what you would do every single day. You have the first column with all these daily process goals, and then every other column is a day of the week. If you accomplished that daily process goal, you get a point. If you don't, you get a 0. And then what you would do at the end of the week is you simply look at all the points you did or didn't get. So let's say it was super easy for you to drink 1 glass of water before every meal and after every meal. Let's say you knocked that out of the park the entire week. You got a point every single day for that one. But let's say for the walks, for example, let's say you only did that twice in the week. So you only got 2 points out of 7 possible points. Well, then for the next week, your plan is, okay, how do I arrange my day? How do I plan ahead so that I can fit in a walk, right? Whether this is a walk around your workplace, whether this like going up and down the stairs, walking around the parking lot like a crazy person. I've seen people do it just walking around the building. If you work at like a hospital or something, typically they have a path to do that anyway, for example. But what you would do is look at the chart, look at how many points you did or didn't get on the chart where you are weakest, where you didn't get as many points. Well, that's your goal for next week. The goal for next week is to maintain all of the good habits and points that you did earn from the prior week. But then the next week, you turn your focus on the habits that you didn't accomplish each day. And you just figure out a plan around how to do that. And ideally, you would also, what I would also recommend with this and how I did it with my clients is I would also have them weigh themselves. And you can weigh yourself each day, or at least I would say 3 to 4 times per week to give yourself an average weight for the entire week, as opposed to just weighing yourself once a week, which can skew your true weight. Because let's say you weigh yourself on a Saturday morning, for example, but Friday night, maybe you had a couple glasses of wine, you had a really high sodium meal, you had a lot of salt in that meal, you ate out or something, and then you wake up Saturday morning and you have a false negative on how heavy you actually weigh because of the salt, because of the alcohol, etc. Maybe you're retaining a little bit of water, and so your weight is higher than it actually is during the week. So this is why I recommend people weighing themselves at least 3 to 4 times per week to give themselves an average to work with on a week by week basis, because that's what you want to look at. And so if you use this system that I just laid out for you, and you also use something like daily weighing, then you can see, okay, I'm accomplishing these points. So if there's 5 goals, and then you have 7 days in the week, that means that there's 35 total points that you could possibly earn within that month, right? Quick math there. So 35 total points that you could get. And so if you're getting close to those 35 points every single month, well, and then you also see that your scale weight is going down, well, that's great. You can either continue to keep doing those same goals, keep trying to consistently hit each one of those habits, or you can make things a little bit harder, right? You can choose different habits, right? Maybe you could choose one of the goals as tracking your food. Maybe you want to start tracking your daily calorie intake. So then you can make one of those goals, one of those daily process goals, eat 2,000 calories each day, or eat 1,800 to 2,000 calories each day. Give yourself a range instead of a specific number. That can increase adherence a little bit. And then noticing those weight trends. Is it going up? Is it going down? What feedback are you getting? You need some type of indicator on, am I making progress or not? Because if you're just hitting all of these habits each day, that's great, but how do you know if it's working or not? And so that's where the daily weighing can come in and be helpful. Other methods, as I've mentioned before on here, would be maybe you have a favorite pair of pants, and as you keep wearing those pants, they feel a little bit looser and a little bit more roomy, right? So that's a good indicator that, hey, you're probably making good progress. Maybe your favorite belt, that's another way to do it. You can actually take body measurements around your waist, and that could tell you, and pictures as well. Or you can do a combination of any of these, but you need the daily point system to put in the work, and then you need some type of indicator of, am I making progress or not? And that's where those methods can come in handy. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do with my mom. And I think that if it is simple enough for my mom, who barely ever works out or pays attention to her nutrition, I think it'll be helpful for you guys as well. Again, I'll throw that picture up again so you guys can see it. If you're listening to this, I highly recommend you check out the video podcast, or if you just send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email, I'm happy to send you that picture as well. But I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a crazy simple fat loss plan for 2021. And that is it for Minisode number 101 on the More Than Fitness podcast. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening and for watching. See ya.